Hey, hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing great. Let me just get my machine set up really quick. Man, my Mac is being slow today for some reason. Let me plug in my trackpad here. Okay. So yeah, how's everyone doing today? Yeah, man, already got lots of chatter in the chat room. Everyone's saying hello. We got Mr. Zeeble in the house. Scott, Chris Powers, thanks for coming. Marin and man, Jan Storms, cool. Hope you like that GDPR stuff I added to oEmbed. I think that was you on the forums, or maybe that was another Jan. I'm not sure. But anyway, Sarah, how's it going? Gunter, Gaston. Excellent. Assuming that everyone is saying hello, you guys can hear me. Just a thumbs up. Audio, videos, all good. Sweet. Tony, Wolf, man, two awesome people right there. How's everyone doing today? So if you didn't already know, this week I released a new stack, kind of a smaller stack, right? I mean, comparatively to like Foundation or Total CMS, like it was kind of nice. It's been a long time since I released like a smaller stack, right? That wasn't ginormous. So the last stack I released was Foundation 6, I believe, right? And yeah, that was back in November. So we're definitely due. I wanted to get kind of like just a small little stack out because I have a bunch of stacks kind of piling up that I have almost done. And so yeah, I thought I'd pile drive over the weekend. I'm gonna release this one, and yeah, it was cool. I like it. Excellent, Martin, Nicola, thank you for coming. Blair, thanks for coming on, bud. Mr. Cole is here. Rian, nice to see you. Let's jump in. We're gonna start off with oEmbed. Let me go ahead and let me get my screen share set up here. Wait 1 second. Boom. Okay. There we go. So yeah, let's start off with looking at oEmbed. Mark, I saw you in the chat. I thought I saw Mark Workman. I was like, what? Another Workman? Nope. Woolwine. Cool. Okay. Let's open up a RapidWeaver project. My machine is definitely, and I just rebooted it too. Whew, look at all that CPU going on. Boom. Man, so slow today. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully this doesn't cause any issues. It's definitely slow. So, okay. I even rebooted my machine like right before as well. So, oh well. Taking a while. I should have opened this beforehand. Is the GPU connected? Let's see. Yeah, the GPU is connected. Okay. All right. Well, our file's open now. Oops, didn't want to open that. Okay. Offsite. I worked on Offsite a little bit today, mostly because of a demo we're going to be doing later on, and I felt Offsite needed a couple little features in order to accomplish it. So we'll see those features later on. Let's look at oEmbed. Okay. So what oEmbed is, if you haven't watched the videos or looked at the demos or anything like that, it allows you to, it uses an open standard, right? So there's the name of the open standard is called oEmbed. I was really inventive with my stack name, right? because that's what it is. I like to just be literal. Okay. Um, so yeah, oEmbed uses the oEmbed standard, and what that means is you can give it a URL. Let's say the URL could be something like a YouTube video, or it could be a Facebook post, or it could be all kinds of different things, right? And hold on one second. I'm going to quit an app that might be using up some CPU here that we don't necessarily need. Okay. So oEmbed allows you to put in a URL. In this instance here on this oEmbed stack, I have a YouTube video in here, right? So if I just go ahead and let's just refresh this, look at this in preview. Oh, I have it. I have it to do it. Let's do it on page load. Do I have to? Or let's go back in. Oh, let's look at it in Safari. Uh-oh. What did I do? I made a couple tweaks this morning. Did I break it? Oh no. Oh no, there it goes. It was just slow. My goodness. So that's all it does, right? So let me close that dev inspector. Okay. So that's really all oEmbed does, right? Now you could use, for YouTube. I mean, there's so many solutions out there, right? You could go ahead and get, use a YouTube stack. I have one. There's tons of them out there. You could just get the embed code straight from YouTube and put it in there, right? So yeah, there's a lot of solutions for YouTube in particular. But this is just simple. You just copy and paste the URL from Safari or your web browser and put it straight in the stack, and it just works. It automatically gets the embed code for you. It automatically makes it responsive, all that kind of stuff, right? Now, you can also do other stuff, right? So let's just go ahead and I think I have some URLs in my clipboard. Let's just go ahead and look for Instagram. Boom. Okay, so this is an Instagram post. I'm not exactly sure which post this is. Let's go ahead and look at that. And there we go. So that is an Instagram post. Okay. So we can embed the post directly into the browser. Now, if you look here, this particular one, actually, let's preview this inside RapidWeaver so we can kind of tweak the settings as we're looking at it. Okay. So here is our Instagram post. Now, Instagram posts actually don't go full width. Instagram kind of limits the width of their widget. Okay. So what you could do is right now it's aligned to the left. We could, if we want to align centered, which I know a lot of people probably want, is you can do that, right? So now that is aligned centered. And if you look, this is really big. That's still big, right? But you can throw this in like a 2-column or restrict the width of the column, right? So if I just go ahead and let's say on this 1-column stack, I just want to make it 6. Let's just do inherit so that it's just 6 all the time. And if we did horizontal center, okay. Oops, I meant to preview it inside RapidWeaver. There we go, right? So I constrain the width, just imagine if you did even more. So we could do like 4. Voila, right? So you can change the size of the widget, and the widget will, so the Instagram widget itself has like a maximum width it goes to. But you can constrain the width with the container stack that you're within, right? Another thing that you can do is that you can inside of the oEmbed stack, you can actually define a max height as well, and you can do maximum height for small, medium, and large devices. So you can actually change the height based on the device if you want. Okay. For certain embeds, YouTube is one of them. Giphy's another one. I'm sure there's a bunch of others where it is possible to make that embed full width and it will kind of responsive. That's why this max height is an option, because you don't want it on everything. Some widgets actually behave well responsively, and some others don't, right? Now, one feature that I added yesterday, yesterday, was the ability to, in GDPR, in this world of online privacy, there's GDPR in Europe, and there's a bunch of new privacy laws even coming in on the States, right? And by default, oEmbed will load everything on page load. But what you can do is you can define it to open based on a button click. And you have to put a class of oEmbed-privacy on that, okay? And actually, if you note here, I'm going to take this that off actually really quick. And let's go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example. And inside here, oEmbed also allows you to define default content. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put in default content in here. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that it's just a little bit larger here. I'm going to load in some default content into oEmbed, and you can throw whatever you want. Okay. So let's just go ahead. I'm using Foundation 6 here, so I'm going to go ahead and just add in let's just put in a paragraph in here. I'm just going to do a paragraph and just do actually, hold on. All right, hold on. Actually, instead of this stack, I'm going to use this stack. And then I'm going to put in the actual Instagram URL here. Okay. And then this is a button that says you can load it here. Let's say load it here. Okay. And I'm going to put a class in this button. That was that class that we documented in the stack, which is oEmbed-privacy. Okay. So what's really cool is now I have oEmbed set to only load when a button is clicked, when an oEmbed privacy button is clicked. And then we have a text link that's going to be an Instagram post. Okay. So let's go ahead and preview this inside RapidWeaver. Hold on. It's generating the preview, I think. Sometime today. There it goes. Okay. So, oh, what the heck? Did I click that by accident? Let's do this in Safari. Okay. So here I go. Inside of here, I have some default content. And if I want, I give the person a link. They can actually click out to the Instagram post if they want. Obviously, you can probably make this look prettier and whatnot. But I have this button here. And I could just say, well, I want to load it here. So I click that button. And as soon as I click the button, the iframe is dynamically loaded onto the page. Right? So that's pretty cool. Now, what's nice about having that button inside, that button can be anywhere you want on the page. Okay, maybe it's a consent form that you have, right? Like maybe you have one of those consent forms on the bottom of your screen that says, we use cookies or we have privacy. Do you want to accept this, right? And you can add that class to that button or even to the container that surrounds that button, okay? And let me show you an example of that as well in a little bit. But yeah, that's really cool. So the reason I have this button inside oEmbed is any of this default content, when the embed code is actually injected, all this content is removed. So we don't need a load it here button, okay? And what's kind of cool is once it's actually, once they click on the consent button, it's remembered for your entire browser session, which is kind of nice. Which actually, come to think of it, that's why it actually worked in RapidWeaver Preview, because I had clicked it before. And RapidWeaver keeps its session stuff across previews. So that's why it worked inside of RapidWeaver. But we can have this button anywhere, right? But if I have it, let's drag it out of the page. What in the world? I want to drag the button. There we go. I'm going to drag this button outside of this. I'll just put it on the bottom. Okay. So if I preview this now, I can click load it here. And if you notice, it did load it, but the button is still there, right? And that's because it's outside of the container. Okay. But let's say, again, if you wanted to have this button inside some sort of, consent form that, maybe after you click on a button, the accept button, it actually goes away or something like that. Now, if you're using a consent form that maybe doesn't allow you to put a class on a button, okay? Because not every stack allows that. Most of them do, but not everyone does. What I do allow you to do is, here, I'm just going to add in like a normal stacks 1 column, okay? In case you don't even have foundation 6, okay? So I'm going to chuck this normal button stack inside of a stacks 1 column. What the heck? Come on. And then inside this 1 column stack, I'm going to put in that CSS class. So I'm going to paste it right in there. So I have a container that contains a button, right? And what oEmbed is going to do is it's going to find oEmbed in privacy, the oEmbed privacy class, and notice that it itself is not a link or a button. So then it's going to find one inside of it. Okay. So right now it's going to, this button is inside of something that has that class. If I click it, it still works. Okay. So that's an easy way of how you can integrate oEmbed with your various consent forms. So yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Let me see if there's any questions. I see some people say it's slow today. Yeah. There's a combination of, I have 2 kids currently doing Zoom classes for school at home. And for some reason, on top of that, my machine is like really getting use out of its CPU for some reason. Normally this isn't happening. This normally works pretty well. For some reason, my machine is definitely sluggish today, and I just rebooted, so I'm not sure quite what that is. Okay. Can you include Google-based pages with oEmbed? I don't know. I'm not going to waste a lot of our time with trying out various URLs. There's a link on my product page, okay, that links to an Embedly website. I even show this in the video, so take the time to watch the 3 or 4 minute video that I did. Yeah, a lot of URLs work. Can I guarantee a particular URL works? No, I don't know. Because I didn't add support for those URLs. It's just like this open standard, right? So I don't know what URLs work. Probably I would think a Google Doc would work. I would think. I don't know though. I don't want to waste time, putting in URLs and just previewing it live here. That doesn't really help anybody. So yeah, check out the video and the link that I posted. There are a lot of stuff. Or asked on Weaverspace if you want to make sure a particular URL works before you buy it. Post on Weaverspace, and then we can tell you yes or no or something like that with somebody else that maybe has bought it can test it out for you or something. So yeah, cool. Without further ado, let's see. Oh, there's a couple other questions. Is it possible to embed an entire Instagram feed? No, that I know for a fact is not possible. I wish it was. It would be amazing if I could just put in my user profile and have it work. That is not the case, sadly. So it does work with Twitter. I have an example of that on the demo page where I put my Twitter feed on the page. That's really awesome. And but that's nothing that I've done. That is just because Twitter supports that. So yeah, Twitter works. Instagram feeds do not. You cannot put your entire Facebook feed. You cannot put your entire Instagram feed, and those you cannot embed on your websites. I know those two things for a fact do not work. So obviously there were things I would love that my Instagram feed to be actually postable and embeddable on a site. Super easy, but sadly not. You can only do individual posts. I should add that you can use Total CMS with this. So what you could do is in the oEmbed where the URL is, just put in a macro, right? So you could do like CMS data, embed, something like that, right? So, definitely you could do something like this where you have the embed URL and basically the CMS ID of the text is embed, right? So obviously change that embed to be this, your CMS ID, right? And you just do CMS data that, and you're good to go. So, oh, Chris, you asked if it's compatible with Total CMS. I just answered that. The Google Data Studio embed is very exciting. Interesting. I don't know what the Google Data Studio is, but if that works, cool. Sounds exciting. I'll look into it. Maybe if we have time after, we can look at that. Right now, I want to build up a pretty interesting layout. Okay. I have to preface this with I haven't tested this at all. So I do not know if what I'm about to do is actually going to work. It works in my brain, but I don't know if it's going to work. So yesterday, Elizabeth Martinez on the community asked a question. And what she wanted to do was she wanted to build a blog list using Total CMS where instead of the post, when you click on the post in the blog list, instead of it actually going to a blog post page, what it did is it launched a lightbox and displayed the blog post inside that lightbox. Now, in theory, I'm pretty sure I can get this working. But we'll see. Now, if there are any, people around, this was kind of done with an unreleased stack quite a while ago called Snatchbox, I think. I don't even have it, but yeah, it was possible if you had this unreleased stack that existed. But I think we can get it working now using. I'm going to do it obviously with Foundation 6 because most of Foundation 6 stacks actually will work inside blog list. That's really cool. Okay, so let's get this done. Let's get her done. I should have been smart and built a blog list before I did all this, but I didn't. Okay, so we're just gonna have to build it all. So bear with me while we do this. Really quick, I need my Total CMS stacks here. Will there be a way to serve oEmbed objects from a Total CMS blog post? I'm thinking about that, how to do that. So to be honest, actually, Total CMS blog posts already support this because the origins of the stack actually came from a feature I added into Total CMS. And it's not really documented very well. I think I showed it on a couple videos or live streams, and I know a few people use it. And basically, if inside Hipwig or anywhere, if you just put square brackets, I think that I'm not even sure on I'm pretty sure it's inside square brackets. You just put in a URL, and if you do that inside the blog post content, it will work. It'll embed it. Now it doesn't have all the fancy features that oEmbed does in terms of forcing it to be responsive, and it doesn't. It actually does everything with PHP, so it's a little bit slower. And oEmbed uses it all via JavaScript, and it's really cool how oEmbed does it. But I've been actually thinking about that on how we can leverage oEmbed inside of a blog post and get all the benefits of the oEmbed stack. I'm thinking about that. It's in my noggin to make that better. But again, you can do that with the blog post stack. maybe during this demo, I'll try to show you how you can do that with Total CMS. Okay. Good question. Okay. What did I needed okay, we need a CMS core. I need a CMS core on here. Let's just hide that. And then we need my passport. Jesus, my machine is really eating itself right now. My goodness. You know, I updated Wirecast. I wonder if that has to do with it. Maybe it's the update that I did. Teach me for updating all the time. Okay. Hey, we're gonna do something really simple. I'm just gonna do an image. Okay, and yeah, I'm just gonna make it super simple. The blog list is just gonna be an image. Here, I'll add a title too. Why not? We'll add the title. Okay. So the blog list contains a title. And the CMS ID is Total CMS. Pretty sure that works. Let's just, I'm not going to try to make a fancy blog list right now. That's not the point of this demo. Let me just make sure it works though. Okay, cool. So I have a blog list and I have images with the title. This particular post actually doesn't have a title. Okay. I think I deleted it during last week's live stream by accident. Okay. So now we need to have a blog post page. Okay. And this is where it gets kind of tricky. Okay. So, with this solution, you still need to have a blog post page. There's no way around that because we need to generate the content and display it. Okay. But we don't need to necessarily link to it. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to create this page here. What's this page? I think this page actually has the form. Here, I'm going to duplicate this page. Let's name it. Come on. All right, and then we're gonna, let me just make this a URL that I know. Let's just do /post. Okay. And I'm gonna delete CMS core on here, or admin core. I know this page has a form, which I don't want. I don't want this form. Okay. So this displays the post gallery. I don't really care about tags. Let's go ahead and add in content. I'm not sure all these blog posts have content, but we'll add the summary and the content below that. This is just a bunch of demo data that probably isn't good quality data, but yeah. Anyway. Okay, inside content, actually, I think, oh, we're looking at this. Okay, so if you notice the content stack, just because someone asked if we can do this. So here we have enable oEmbed. Okay, it's enabled by default. And it has that oEmbed feature. Okay, which I'll show you the syntax for. We'll play around with that. We'll get that working by the end of the day, especially if today's the oEmbed day, right? Again, this doesn't require the oEmbed stack. This is a feature that is actually the predecessor to the stack. This feature I felt was cool, and I thought people would like it outside of Total CMS, and they do. So, but an early version of it is available inside Total CMS blog. Okay. Okay, I'm going to publish this, and pray to God this publish doesn't take forever because my machine is, the CPU on my machine is just going nuts. Because this solution, I don't expect it to actually, the lightbox to work inside of RapidWeaver unless it's published. Okay. Okay, that's exporting. While that's exporting, actually, I'm going to launch activity monitor. I want to see what in the world is eating up my CPU today. Man, look at that. So slow. Interesting. I have this kernel task that says it's used 2 hours of CPU time, but I rebooted my machine like 30 minutes ago. That is nuts. In this app, I just quit it, so I don't know, it might be just slow. Nothing's like killing it, it looks like. Wirecast, obviously, I mean, because that's what I'm streaming with. And RapidWeaver. And normally my publishes go a lot faster, so yeah. Man. This kernel task, whatever that is using up some CPU usage. I have no clue what that is, though. There's some App Store updates. What are some of those App Store updates? While we're here, I passed over a question from Jody. Instagram example, will each oEmbed stack only pull in one post? I think I answered that, Jody. So yeah, you can only pull in a single post at a time with Instagram. Sorry. I wish that was different. Looks like it already auto-updated everything. I bought this app just kind of while we're shooting the shit. And no, not yet. Maybe it published. Okay, it looks like it published. Cool. I totally missed that. Cool little app though. I don't really use it. I used it once when I needed it for like I was doing a birthday card, and really cool app. Like anyway, Comic Life. It's not something you use a lot, but when you need it, it's handy. Okay. So I published that. Let's go ahead and open up Safari. Okay. Sandbox. JoeWorkman.net. Okay. Oh, made these link. Oh, well, we don't want it to link to the page. Okay. So if I did, let's make sure this blog post works. Hold on one second. Let's see. What is this? This is Joe. The permalink for this is Joe-Workman. We're gonna play with post today. So let's do post / permalink equals Joe-Workman. Oops. Man. Joe-Workman. Okay, cool. So here's my post. As you see, it doesn't have a very exhilarating summary. Here, hold on. Let's put in some dummy content in there. Let's go ahead and edit this really quick. This page has the form, I believe. Oops. What the heck? Oh, this has like a... That's not the page I wanted. Oh, well. I think it was... That's fine. No big deal. We'll just... we'll wing it. Let's see. This page. What's the URL of this page? I need to clean up my sandbox and actually like delete some pages that shouldn't be there anymore. Page 9. That was a great name for a page. Hey Dan, if you're watching this, Rapweaver 9, maybe like when you create a new page, just prompt a user like, what do you want to name it? Like really quick. Like, I don't know. Because then we don't have, then people won't have pages like page 9, page 2, page whatever. They could just create meaningful pages. So yeah, if by chance you happen to be watching this, Dan, please do that. Rapweaver 9, that'd be awesome. Okay. And redirects. What the heck did I do there? All right, whatever. It's down on the bottom here. Oh, and of course I don't have that. All right, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so now what we want to do is we want to, instead of linking this to a blog post, okay? Let's say on this image right now it's linked to blog post. I'm going to turn that off. And then the title, I'm going to turn link to post off as well, okay? And this is going to be the exciting part, because now I want, when I click on the post or the image, okay, I want these to launch a lightbox, okay? And this is bugging me. Let's just do text align center on that title just for fun. Okay. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So let's open up this, and I'm going to go ahead and add in a lightbox stack, Foundation 6 lightbox. This is pretty nuts balls, actually. This is kind of crazy here, but we're going to do it. So I have a lightbox inside my blog list. Okay. And right now, let's just here, we'll add in just for fun, we'll add in the summary into the lightbox. Okay. Just so you guys can kind of see that. Whoops. Maybe that would be interesting too, right? So you just want, maybe you want to have the summary open when you click on the lightbox, something like that. Okay. Now there's some really special things and very important things that we need to make sure we do. Okay. First off, there is a lightbox ID in here. Well, we can't have every single blog post in the list have the same lightbox ID, because, I mean, obviously we can't do that because every lightbox would open, right? So we don't want that. We need to make sure that this lightbox ID is unique. And while this, what I'm going to show you is not documented, I've given it to users inside the community kind of as an organic thing. When you needed something like this, some advanced users have kind of learned this syntax, okay? And because there are macros that are possible to be used inside the blog list, right? So you know that in Total CMS, there's macros that you can use on a blog post page, but there's also a special set of macros that we can use in the blog list. And they'll look familiar to you, because I use these in like Foundation forms. I use this style of macro, and it uses the curly braces, right? So we're going to do curly brace, and we're going to do permalink. Okay, it's actually 2 curly braces. Okay, and I use these in Pi as well. So these are should be familiar if you've been around and you've used some of my other stacks, mostly my some more advanced stacks. So here, let me zoom in on this so you can see it, right? It is lightbox dash, and then in curly braces, permalink. So what that's going to do is that's going to take the permalink of the blog post and pop it in there. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what other things are there, right? Well, you can probably guess. If it's curly brace, permalink. For the permalink, we have title, summary, right? So a lot of those are going to be, accessible via these, right? Because sometimes people want to use a Foundation 6 header stack, and you want to put in the title of the blog post in there. Well, you can do that. You just put in curly brace, title, curly brace, right? Maybe we can show that a little bit later. Okay, so now I'm ensuring that my lightbox ID is unique. Okay, because I'm injecting the permalink into the lightbox. This is like, I've never done this before. In my head, this is totally going to work though. Okay, and then we need to make it so if we click on this image or this title, it launches it, right? Well, Foundation 6 has this cool launcher stack. And I'm going to add it right there. Okay. Also, I should note, if you're having issues adding in Foundation 6 stacks into your blog list, I added that as a feature of blog list to be able to add Foundation 6 stacks into it. I think it was in 1.65, I think. However, there is a slight issue with stacks where the permissions don't necessarily get upgraded after an update. So if you can't add Foundation 6 stacks into your blog list, you'll have to add a new blog list on the page and rebuild it. Sorry, it's a stacks bug. I filed a bug. I think it's a bug. Maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's a feature. I don't know. But anyway, so here we have a launcher, and we're going to add in the image stack and the title into it. No, man. Image, title, drag and drop, please. Thank you very much. Launcher. Now in this launcher, we need to give it the lightbox ID as well. And so we already know what that is. That's lightbox. I think I did a dash permalink. Right? Let me just make sure that that's what I did. Yes. Okay. So, this is crazy. Okay. Now, if you wanted, like, you can like change the ARIA label and all that jazz. I'll leave all that default. So right now, this isn't doing the iframe thing yet, but I just want to test out that this lightbox thing is going to work. So let's preview this. Cool. Oh, someone says it's a temp issue here. That's a good idea. Actually, I'll increase my fan speeds actually. Oh, my fans are already going as high as they possibly could. So anyway, okay. So now if I click on Joe Workman is cool, what? Like, look at that. That one doesn't have a summary. That one doesn't have a summary. And the only post here that actually has a summary is this one. But it works right here. Let's go ahead and put in, here, I'll show you that little trick. So let's add a header stack to the page. Header. I'm going to add a header into the lightbox. Okay. And I'm going to inject the title into there because I promised you I was going to show you this. So we're going to do curly brace, title, curly brace. There we go. And that's, I don't know, let's call it H4. Okay. And let's preview that. So now I've made it so these Joe Workman is cool. There's the title and the summary. If we click on this one, we have the title. This particular post didn't have a summary, right? So there we go. This is really, really cool. That one doesn't even have a title, as we see, because it's not showing down here. Like, this is cool. This is dynamic. Like, this is utilizing a blog as, like, I don't know what we can use this for. This is crazy. Like, how we can do this is very powerful. Okay, so the next step is we need to embed a iframe into that lightbox. Okay, how are we going to do that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the summary and delete the header, and we're going to add an iframe into this lightbox. And I have an iframe stack called Offsite, and I explicitly added some features to this morning that, while I didn't test it, it should make this work. So if you're going ahead and trying this, the Offsite stack might need a feature update. You're not seeing all the features here because I just did them like less than an hour ago. Okay. So in the URL here for this, okay, we are going to put in a URL. Okay. And that URL is, hold on one second. Let's go ahead. It was sandbox.joeworkman.net/post/? Oh, there we go. So I'm going to copy this URL. Okay. And we're going to paste it here. Now, obviously, I have the permalink in here, but we know how to inject the permalink in a blog list. So we're going to do tilde or brace permalink curly braces. Okay. The name, I don't need to provide a name. Maybe the title we can do, or we'll put in the title. Okay. Maybe the name we can do permalink. And you don't really need it. The name and title fields are optional for an iframe. You don't need to provide them. We'll do loading lazy. We'll leave that as lazy, even though Safari doesn't support lazy loading of iframes yet. Only Chrome does right now, but hopefully eventually Safari will get that feature as well. So we've added it here. And let's do, I guess we'll do static height. Or no, we'll do proportional height. I'm not sure. We'll might need to play with the height settings here. Let's see if this works. Okay. So cool. Now this lightbox actually has a padding in it. But let's see if this works now. Drum roll. This is gonna be crazy. Okay, so when I click on this, it should have an iframe to the blog post page on the server. Oh, what? Look at that. Look at that. That is freaking cool. That one doesn't, I'm not sure why that one doesn't work. And that one doesn't have anything either. Oh, that one has images. Okay. Again, my blog data isn't great, but this one obviously has valid data, right? So look, the actual blog post is being displayed inside of a lightbox. Like, that is insane. I was like 98% sure that this was going to work, and I'm so glad that I was right. Okay. So obviously to get this feature, you'll need the offsite stack. And then the offsite stack needs a couple updates for this to work. Okay. And I'll ship that update today. And yeah, that's slick. Now, I don't, not every lightbox. Okay. Just a disclaimer. I highly don't recommend you put any stack you want into blog list. Okay. Especially like if you ever see a stack that has, hold on, let me add this. So you can add a stacks one column into a blog list. Okay. You can do that. Well, you have the ability to do that. Okay. But you shouldn't. Never. Okay. The reason is, if you notice, any stack that has these default settings here, so the info, the background, if you ever see a stack that has these settings, the settings that are inside any default stack, okay, at the top, do not add that into a blog list. Okay. The reason for that is that stack has an ID on it. Okay. It is guaranteed to have an ID. I guarantee you that stack will have an ID. And in HTML, you can only have an ID one time on a page. Now, if I add a stack into the blog list that has an ID, well, guess what? That ID is going to be inside every single blog post inside the blog list. Does that make sense? And you will now have invalid HTML, and you'll probably hurt your SEO because Google will see that you have invalid HTML. It may display correctly. Okay, most browsers will actually allow, or it knows it's an error, but it will still allow it to work. But it's invalid HTML, and you never want to have invalid HTML on your site. So while I'm showing you some cool stuff by adding, now Foundation 6 stacks don't have any IDs. Well, okay, actually they do. Lightbox itself actually has an ID, but we gave it a unique ID because we added in the permalink. So in this case, we have control over what the ID is. Okay. which is nice. But not all stacks let you do that. In fact, most don't. Okay. So if you ever see a stack that has all those settings, I guarantee you that you should not put that inside the blog list. So if you have another lightbox that you want to use, chances are it's not going to work inside the blog list. Or even if it does work, I strongly don't recommend you do it. Okay. The Foundation 6 lightbox stack works. Every foundation stack, I guarantee you, every foundation stack works inside, as well as probably any stack I've released in the past year. Okay. Seams, Offsite, all kinds of other stuff, right? Horizon. I'm not sure how you would use Horizon inside of a blog list, but totally possible. Okay. In terms of the HTML. So yeah, just a big disclaimer there. Please don't do that. Okay. So that's pretty cool. That does it work with pretty URLs? Yeah, if I had supported pretty URLs, basically inside here, I would just put in, that, right? So I would remove the permalink equals, and there you go, right? But if it's in an iframe, I mean, to be honest, if the blog post is in an iframe, no one knows what the URL is anyway, so it doesn't really, But if you happen to have, maybe you want to link to the page in some places and not link to the page in other places, and you want to have a pretty URL, yeah, you can do that. Okay, just wherever inside the URL you need the permalink, that's what you do. All right, you just put in that little macro. But I don't have pretty links on this URL, so I'm going to put the permalink back in. Cool. Sweet. Any other questions? Any questions at all that you'd like me to go over or review? I promised I was going to test out that embed stuff. Okay. Hold on. Let's see if we can do that. Okay. Let's go back here. I'll show you that embed stuff. Okay. Why is this blog form not working? What is the URL for this page? Page 9. I just need to edit a blog post, and I know this has a form on it. So I'm just going to go to okay, here we go. Let's edit this. Do I have? Oh, obviously I don't have a. Oh, I think it will work in summary. Hold on one second. Let's see if that works inside summary. Summary. No, it only works in the content. Okay. Let's go and add the content. Okay, enable oEmbed, and I need to add the content inside the form as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Content. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do one more thing, and I want to show you something. One way how you can integrate the oEmbed stack right now into Total CMS. And man, I hate when drag and drop goes funky. It seems to be when your machine is high CPU and I am going too fast for it. All right, I'm going to add extra content there. Okay. And up here, Okay, let's just do that. Let me publish this page. Do you have a manual on pretty URLs? I have videos on pretty URLs, and I believe there is also an FAQ. So search our FAQ database, the help widget on the bottom corner, and there's a way of setting. There's videos, and I believe Rob actually did an FAQ on it. So I've shown that in videos so many times. And there is a blog in 30 minutes is a good one, and I'm pretty sure I show how to do that inside that blog, implementing blog in 30 minutes. Okay, that's published. Let's go back to my page. Let's refresh. Okay, so I have up here, I'm going to display this, and then down here, we're going to edit it. Okay, so let's just do, this is my, oops. All right, and then I'm gonna test something out. I think I remember the syntax was this. Okay, I may need to look at some code. And then for extra content, I didn't want it hipwig. Shoot. Hold on, I'm gonna save that really quick. And over here, the extra content in the form, I wanted this to be plain text. Publish that. All right, while it's publishing. So I saved this inside hipwig of my content. Let's reload the page. And there it goes. Yes, there it is. Okay. So as you see, it did, right? So the syntax for that is this. It only works in the blog post content. Whoa, I zoomed in too much there. So it's super simple. You just do square bracket, the URL square bracket. And it uses almost the same technology as oEmbed. The oEmbed stack is a little bit newer. Okay. And the oEmbed stack does like caching and all kinds of stuff, right? So this one, every time you load the page, it's going to go out and do a query and stuff. So it's going to be a little bit slower, but it is possible. Okay. I'm going to show you another way to use oEmbed, or the oEmbed stack with blog. Okay. So for right now, I'm actually gonna delete that. Okay. And let's refresh the page again. And okay, so I'm gonna delete this from the content. And what I'm gonna do is now if you're not already this is only if you're not already using the extra content area. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste the URL into there, and let's save it. Okay. I need the oEmbed stack. Okay, so up here, we're gonna add in. I'm gonna add an oEmbed stack here. All right, and then I'm gonna put in a macro for the URL. Okay, so if you're not aware, there is a blog macros somewhere. Are there macro hints? Okay. And if you look, there is a macro for extra content, and it is %blog extra content %. So I'm going to take that. You can actually copy it right here. So I'm going to copy that. If you notice inside here, all these settings are just so you can copy and paste the macros. You can change these. It doesn't do anything. They're here so you can copy and paste them. Okay. And then go to embed, and I'm going to paste in that macro. Okay. I don't need this hint stack anymore. So now this embed is going to get the URL that we saved inside the extra content. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish that. Drum roll. Man, it's taking a long time. So here, just a reminder, let's reload the page. I think I already saved this, but let's see. Yeah, so I have nothing in my content, and then I saved the URL into the extra content area. And, oh, it's published. Cool. Let's go ahead and reload the page again. And there we go. There's our embed, right? And what's really cool is we can actually utilize like the default feature. So like if you only wanted to load the embed in the blog with a button click, you can do that as well. So that's obviously a really great feature of oEmbed, is it allows you to only load those things when it's granted or when it's consented. Okay. So yeah, really cool. Just to show you, I'm going to change that Instagram post to be, I don't know, let's do a YouTube video. There. I have no idea what YouTube video that is, but it was in my clipboard. Let's save that. Refresh the page. And voila, there we go. It just magically embeds a YouTube video. So again, any URL that you plop in here will get passed to oEmbed. Pretty cool. I like it. So cool, guys. Yes, Scott, more ways to abuse Total CMS blog. You love it. And you are the biggest abuser of blog there is. So cool. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Some really cool stuff. I thought we'd have more time to do some more user questions and whatnot. If you guys have any other questions, you can plop it in the chat room. I'll stick around for a little bit if you want to answer more questions. Else, yeah, we'll have a great rest of your week. Go out and make something great. And after we get off here, I'm going to get some food and start digging into Total CMS 2. Well, I might release that Offsite update first so you guys can play around with this. But yeah, really cool stuff here. Hope you enjoy it. Go check out oEmbed. Yes, everybody stay safe. Man, I have to say yesterday I really wanted to go like work from a cafe or something like that. Like I was like, I need to get out of here. But yeah, everyone stay safe. Hopefully you're having some fun weaving and creating awesome stuff. And thank you. Go out there and make your websites great. Take care, everyone.